What's going on, everybody? Let's have a little Bible study, shall we? So, today we're going to be reading Psalms chapter 55, verse 6, and it says, I said, oh, that I may have the wings of a dove, I would fly away and be at rest. Now, we've been talking about this for the past, this will be the third day, about David and his betrayal and his hurt that he felt from somebody he fellowshipped with. Now we've been backtracking upward because I wanted to um, get the solution before we got to the problem, right? So now this is the moment where we start, but I want it to be the moment where we finish, right? So the moment we start is just like I've experienced this betrayal. The verse before this, which we're gonna be reading, but the verse before this talks about the trauma and the horror that he felt, because of this betrayal. Um, you know, it's one thing to be betrayed, but it's another thing to be betrayed by someone who you work closely with, especially, if someone, let's just use the church for example. If someone in the church who is maybe just a lay member, I don't want to say just because lay members are important, but someone who is a lay member and they betray you, and someone you may not know them, you might not even know their first name, not even or their last name, or if they have any children or anything really about them. You just know that you see Sister Jackson or Brother Johnson every Sunday. You give them a hug, you say hello, and if they betray you, it will hurt, but it's like, well, they don't really, whatever, it wouldn't sting as much. But imagine it being the person that you sing praise and worship with. Imagine it being the person that you minister with. Imagine it be the person that you are saving souls with, right? That betrayal hurts more. And when David says that, that the wings of a dove, that he would, rest, he's not necessarily talking about, leaving this earth or unalive, as they say. He's more so just saying that the freedom, the peace, the escapism that he would experience. But this really speaks to the fact that we can have emotions, but we as people ought to process those emotions, because as David was processing these emotions, he was then able to come to the conclusion that God is on his side. He was then able to come to the conclusion that God is his refuge. He was then able to come to the conclusion that God has his back 100%, right? So the reason I wanted to talk about this particular verse is because this is where we are sometimes. And I don't want anyone to feel shame or shamed for feeling this way. Sometimes we feel the shame, but sometimes other people shame us for having natural human emotions. One thing that I love about David um, is that his transparency. I talk about this often. I've said this before, but even when David said, "Create in me a clean heart and renew a righteous spirit within me. Cast me not away from your presence, and don't take your spirit from me." We know as believers that God will not take his spirit from us. Even Moses told Joshua way back then that God will not leave you nor forsake you, right? So we know that God is not in the business of casting us away and taking his spirit from us, but that doesn't mean that that's not how we feel sometimes. Sometimes we are going to feel like God is casting us away and taking his spirit from us. And if we know anything about God, our hearts are already clean. Creating me a clean heart is to say that I'm feeling like this. It's not to say that my heart is not clean. It's to say that the things that I'm doing, the things that I'm saying are not right standing with God. So God, I want you to create that clean heart within me. Not create a clean heart, but create it within me so that I know that my heart is clean, that my heart is pure, right? Yeah, so I just really love this verse, and I really love that concept of processing your emotions. God gave us these emotions because he knew that we would feel them, and because he knew that they would be necessary. The Bible says that he did not give us the spirit of fear, But fear is not always necessarily a bad thing. The spirit of it is that it's overtaking you, that is consuming you. But creatures, ourselves included, use fear to know how to navigate this world, right? Um, I spoke about this before, but when we as humans, before we evolved into what we are now, different things like radiation and climate and just natural, development, made our hair fall off of our body. Let's just say that we were once more hairy, right? And the reason that we have those things called goosebumps when we, when something is like whatever, we have goosebumps is because the hair back then, because there was more of it, it would literally stand up, and that hair standing up would indicate like there is something around that you need to be cautious of. Now the hair standing up can mean hide, it could tell you fight, it could tell you run, but that fear, that we get, it cautions us, you know to not walk down that dark alley. It cautions us to not go down into those woods. It's not about not having the emotion. It's about not letting it overtake you and consume you, right? So process your emotions. Allow God to work through those emotions with you, but don't shy away from having emotions or be shamed or ashamed of having um, these emotions. So, my prayer and my encouragement is that we get to that point where we just say, hey, I'm feeling this way, but as long as I know that God is going to bring me out, then it is okay for me to be in this place right now. It is okay for me to say that I'm feeling down, but God is my refuge. It is okay to say I'm feeling insecure, but God gave me beauty for my ashes. It's okay to say that I'm feeling unworthy, but God called me worthy. It's okay to say that I'm feeling unloved, but God said He loved me. As long as I can reroute and redirect that thing back to God, God is not punishing you for having an emotion. So, with that being said, make sure you're following this guy right here. Make sure you like the video, share the video, favorite the video, comment on the video, repost the video, and do all the things, and all the things. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace, love, and light. Bye.